of the morning to you all. Hello, 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 hello. All right. Brandon, Andre, top of the morning to you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. William, good morning. Good morning, Justin. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys know it is, yes, Mr. Billionaire. Chasing you, bro. Chasing you, Mr. Hatchet. Chasing you, my friend. Yeah. Brandon, man, I am so sorry to hear the news, bro. Keep me posted on everything, man, and gotta figure out how I'll get down there, man. But so sorry, man. My uncle Billy passed. So man, that's tough, bro. Hug little BG. I know that's gonna be tough for him as well, man. Tough. Morning, Angela. We're going to get started here in one quick second. Let me just do something. Well, no, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna get ready to rock and roll. Let me get the show started. Because I do want to say something about my uncle, man. That was, sad. So let's start the show. Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the black community, coming to you live from Project 1000 Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Just want to give you a heads up, man. Project 1000 is off and running, man. We're at about 180 people now. We're super excited about bringing financial literacy to our communities, man. So if you are sleeping on Project 1000, maybe you don't have the resources, let me tell you something about stretching yourself, man, and pushing yourself, because sometimes that's what it requires to get to another level. So we're going to help you eliminate debt, help you minimize your taxes, put you in a financial education franchise so you can learn these strategies and teach them in your community. And then we're going to help you learn how to invest as well so you can start building a legacy for you and your family. Now, speaking of legacy, guys, I'm going to deviate just a little bit from our normally scheduled introduction, man, because I just got word that my Uncle Billy passed. And I want to tell you a little bit about my uncle, man. And so I don't know if you guys remember when I gave my testimony and my story, right? I didn't have the best relationship with my father. He lived in Tupelo. I lived in St. Louis. I stayed with him for a couple years. And then, he was killed when I was 11 years old. So I grew up without a father. But I moved back to Tupelo right around the OJ trial. So I guess that was 95, 96. And I was there, working little odd jobs. And I had two uncles, man, who played a pivotal role. And this is one of the uncles who was a father figure in my life. And I only had a few, man. And I want to say something to the fellas about that. But what happened was one of my uncles, my Uncle Sonny, we were having a family reunion in New Orleans. Tupelo, Mississippi is about 6 hours from New Orleans. So my Uncle Sonny said, man, we want you at the reunion. And at this time, I want you to think about something. Because I didn't have that relationship with my father, and he had passed, and I was just growing up with my mother's side of the family, I didn't really have a strong relationship with my father's brothers and sisters and my father's mother and his side of the family. So my Uncle Sonny said, man, we're going to get you to the family reunion. We're going to take you. And as we were going down there, he was talking about, what I was doing. I wasn't doing nothing, sitting around smoking weed all day, just not doing nothing productive. And believe it or not, he took me to the family reunion and he left me there in New Orleans. Right? But what I didn't realize is that he had already had a conversation with my Uncle Billy and said, hey, man, we need to save our nephew, man. Let's get him something going, something positive. You're an electrician. You got your own business. You got your thing going. So I want you to take him under your wing and, train him as an electrician, an apprentice, and you guys can spend some time together and you can help him. And that's what my Uncle Billy did. So for about 3 or 4 months, it was such a blessing in my life because not only did I get to be around a real man every day, probably for the first time in my life. Not that I hadn't had other men in my life who were real men. My Uncle Mac is another one. But not with that level of consistency. Every day we was working and we was grinding. And this is how I learned about a business, because as an electrician for his own business, I literally worked from sun up to sundown. We could get up at 5, 6 in the morning. We was on the jobs and we'd be at somebody's job until about 9 o'clock at night. So he taught me how to grind in that way. And I really got to learn a lot more about that side of my family, because I saw his love for my grandmother, because we would, as much as we could, even though he was extremely busy, we would always go by my grandma's house and eat. And I would watch him love on her and hug her and kiss her all the time. Even when he was in his filthy clothes, she didn't get away from me, boy. Because we were sometimes we'd be underneath houses and stuff. Because in New Orleans, because of their below sea level, they don't really have basements. So when you're talking about going to rewire somebody's house, you're laying on the crawl space under somebody's house for hours, right? And they don't tell him what's under there. But I just wanted to pay him the tribute that he is so due, man, because I learned so much. And it was just about 3 or 4 months time, because that was the period that shortly after I was there and getting the hang of being in the Big Easy and really learning, that was the time that my brother was killed. And then I moved back to St. Louis. So rest in peace to my Uncle Billy, man. And I want to say something to the fellas out there, especially those of us who are standing upright, right? Finally, some of us have been laying sideways and kind of half cocked, but now that we're standing upright, take the opportunity to sow into someone else's life, man. Grab a young man, a boy, a man, a young male. Take them under your wing, man. You never know how much of a change, a difference, and an impact you could be making in someone's life, right? Always be willing to give a little bit of time, especially if you have your own business and you have that time freedom. Grab somebody and help pour into someone's life, man. Now, at the time I was working sun up to sundown, I was like, man, all this dude do is work. But he taught me how to grind, because guess what I do? I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning doing my show, running my online businesses, and I'm doing that till about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, man. Taught me how to grind, man. So if I'm off for a couple of days, man, chances are it's because I got to get down to New Orleans and pay my respect. He really had an impact on my life. So if you are a man and you're standing upright, I want you to consider a young man in your family, a young man in your neighborhood, take that young person under your wing and pour into that person's life. It makes a difference even if they seemingly reject any advice, any tutelage, any mentoring that you can give them. They might seem like they're rejecting it, but I promise you it will make a huge difference. So I just wanted to share that. I know that's not part of our normal introduction, but I love my Uncle Billy. I mean, he did something amazing for me, and I did get a chance to tell him that the last time I talked to him. But I mean, man, that's tough. So today's show is brought to you by Young Biz Kids, guys. If you are in the St. Louis area and you want your kids to be a part of this program where they can come meet with us once a month, we teach them about entrepreneurship, about how money works and all that good stuff. That's a great organization for your kids to be a part of. We are putting together our first online class now. So if you're anywhere outside of the St. Louis area, you can literally have your kid participate. And the class will be very cost effective, probably $10 or something like that, as we're rolling out our first model, an introduction to entrepreneurship for kids. And what that will be is you can literally just sit 3 or 4 or 5 kids in a room, pay the one $10 fee, and then just have 3 or 4 kids sitting and learning entrepreneurship the way that we teach it to our children. And then do me a huge favor. If you have it within your capacity, I want you to go over to youngbizkids.org and give them a donation. I want you to go over to Young Biz Kids, the fan page here on Facebook, and then I want you to give them a word of encouragement. I want you to like the page, give them a word of encouragement, because sometimes, man, when you're doing good work, sometimes you run into all kinds of challenges and you want to give up. But a word of encouragement, man, can push a person like Ariel, who's the founder of the organization, can push her a long way. You never know when a person is at the brink of throwing in the towel, and your word could literally save not only that person, but the lives of others that she would ultimately impact if she keeps the program going. So youngbizkids.org, and that's kids with a Z, BIZKIDZ.org. So today is Free Game Friday. You guys know that we do our live Q&A and something that we call Fill in the Blank. And just an open dialogue. And the way that we do this is, if you have a question or you have a fill in the blank, I want you to give us the name of your business, your brand or product or service that you're promoting. So we give, we give you a free business shout out. And then you can ask your question or do your fill in the blank. And if I have the answer, I'll give it to you the best that I can. If I don't, perhaps that's something that I can go study and we'll create a whole show around it. Or chances are I know somebody that I can point you to, and chances are there's somebody who has the answer within this stream, because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've been attracting some of the best and the brightest in the world of Facebook. The people who are in these streams, if you haven't already sent a friend request to everybody that's on these streams, you're missing out, man, because chances are you have your next business partner right here in this stream. So I just want to give you that heads up. But before we get into the live Q&A and before we get into the fill in the blank, we always recap the shows for the week. And we start with going from Thursday to Monday, right? So Thursday's show was the 7 keys to building your brand online. So number 1, start with who you are, right? Start with who you are and what you know. That's because it's the easiest thing to do. Is if I am really good at something, I know how to do something really well, it's easier to just build a brand around that and just be that person. Start with what you know to build your brand, right? The second thing is you want to pick a platform and a medium and master it. My platform is Facebook. I picked Facebook as the place that I hang out the most. It's easy for me to target others in the space that I'm targeting with my products and services. So that's the platform. Now you might want to pick a medium. What is my medium? My medium is video. So my platform is Facebook and my medium is video. Why video? Because I don't like to write, right? I have a blog, and what's on my blog? Videos, because I don't like to write. I have a YouTube channel because video is my medium, right? So I want you to think about that. So you pick a platform and learn everything you need to know about that platform and how to use it for business. See, when you're dealing with social media platforms, there is the way to use it to be social, and there's a different way to use it for business. So you have to learn how to use it for business effectively. Number 3 is understand the basics. If you're marketing online, you need a handful of things, and you need to know how to use those things really well. You need to know you need to have a home on the internet, whether that is YouTube, Facebook, but I would say definitely a website or a blog should be your home on the internet. Then you need to understand how lead capture pages work, and you need to have one. And you also need to understand how autoresponders work, and you need to have one. So those are the basics. And then the 4th thing is you need to have a good lead magnet. You're not building a business online if you don't know how to generate leads. And a good lead magnet is a start in the right direction. Right? So those are the basics that you have to understand: how to generate leads using a lead magnet, lead capture page, autoresponder, and you should have a home on the internet where people can go and learn more about you. Or if people were to Google you, they could find what you want them to find. The last thing you want somebody to do is, when they Google you, is to find that nasty Facebook post that you put up and it was, some crazy stuff, right? You want to be putting positive images of yourself in your and taking up internet real estate with those positive images, so that when people Google you, they find what you want them to find. Right? Number 4 is be authentic, man. Be authentically you. Be unapologetically you. Right? Sometimes we see other successful marketers and other successful brands online, and it's okay to model those brands. It's just not okay to mimic those brands, right? You have to be you, because you're going to attract people based on that. Number 5, you got to be consistent. If you're building a brand online, if you're building a brand anywhere, you got to be consistent. That's why companies spend thousands of dollars on commercials, and they replay those commercials over and over and over, consistently staying in front of your target audience. Number 7, you got to know what business you're in. And if you don't know what business you're really in, let me give you a hint. I don't care what product or service you are selling. I don't care what the brand is. The business that you are in is the relationship business. I want to make that clear. I don't care what your brand is. I don't care what your product is. I don't care what company that you're promoting. You have to know what business you're in. And the business you're in is the relationship business. If you don't understand how to build relationships, how to build them quickly when you're dealing with online spaces, you got to build relationships and build rapport quickly online, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, period. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, period. So you have to know how to build relationships quickly. So that was Thursday's show. Wednesday's show was all about vision, right? I gave you 4 things that you need to do to develop vision, to sharpen your vision, right? And I'm not talking about eyesight. I'm talking about vision. Can you see the future? I can, right? Number 1, you schedule time for visualizing your success. You have to schedule time to do that every day. Number 2, when you schedule your time to do that, sit down with a journal as you're doing that. And you writing those things down that you see. And when you're visualizing, write that stuff down. Number 3, start actively looking for open doors based on your visualization. So if you're seeing yourself successful at business or in relationships or whatever it is that you're doing, start looking for the doors that are opening for you, the opportunities that are coming your way, so that you can see how to go through those doors and start, connecting and getting the resources that you need to be successful. And then number 4, you have to take action. Lights, cameras, action. You have to start doing things that's moving you towards your vision. Now, all of that stuff is fine, but here's the one thing that most people fail to see in their visualization exercises. They see all the time what they want. They see all the time where they're going. They see what they need to get there. But the part that most people miss when it comes to visualization is they don't see who they need to become in order to execute the mission, in order to get the vision to manifestation. See, you have to become first, then you do, so you can have. You have to become first, then you do, so you can have. See, I'm becoming a billionaire, and I'm starting to do the things that billionaires do so I can manifest billions. So I see myself as a billionaire already, but I also have to see the person I need to become in order to start doing the things that I need to do consistently to manifest the vision. Be, do, have. Right? So that was Wednesday's shows, all about vision. It's all about vision. Tuesday, we talked about the 2 things that are missing in the Black community: assets and equity, right? We have a lot of trash and liabilities that we're spending money on, and we very, very rarely invest in assets and equity, right? Assets are things that you own that will appreciate in value. Equity is your stake and ownership of something that is valuable, right? Assets and equity. We talked about 4 reasons why we don't have the resources to acquire assets. Inflation. If you don't understand how inflation is impacting you, taxes. If you're working a job and that's your only source of income, understand something. How you make your money in America determines how you're taxed in America. And when you make your money with labor, you're taxed the absolute most. Period. Right? So if you don't understand how to alleviate or minimize your tax situation, you got to get that done. Debt is the third thing that is killing your ability to acquire assets for yourself. Because guess what? When you owe debt, you're an asset on somebody else's balance sheet. We need you to start building and accumulating assets on your own balance sheet. And then number 4 is big business, or what we call is propensity to be mass consumers, right? We spend every dime we get on a bunch of stuff, a bunch of foolishness that just literally doesn't bring any money back into our pocket. See, there's only one wealth building formula, and it is cash, asset, cash. Every time you get your hands on some cash, you use it to buy, build, or invest in some sort of asset that's going to bring you more cash. If that becomes your habit, I don't care if you get $10 and you take $1 and you buy, build, and invest in an asset, and you're doing that every week, I promise you start to build wealth, because that $10, that $1 that you're putting into that asset starts to compound, and you start literally building your business. So guys, it's 23 past the hour. We've missed our normal time for our daily proverb. So let me give it to you now. Daily proverb says this: success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. It's by one of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get, by the great Warren Buffett. It's all about perspective, man. How do you see the things that are going on around you? Success is getting what you want. So yes, I can be successful because I'm manifesting my vision. I'm getting what I want. Happiness is having the proper perspective of actually wanting what you get, rolling with the punches, so to speak, being content and being satisfied with outcomes, right? And not beating yourself up too much. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Warren Buffett. Right? Powerful, powerful. I hope you guys get that. Today's Daily Proverb was brought to you by ERGJ Enterprises. My man Evan Jefferson over there is doing some wonderful and amazing stuff. If you have not already friended him, then send him a friend request. And then I want you to consider their investment club, the New Black Wall Street investment club called Club Millie. For $20 a month, you can plug in to this investment club. You get free stock training all the time. $20 a month is enough for this other point that you get when you are part of Club Millie. He will train your children in investments and money matters for free just by you being a member. And then you get all sorts of discounts on other services and projects that they have going on. They bring in guest speakers and experts in a lot of different modalities from a wealth building standpoint. He's also great at retirement reviews. If you have your 401k, 403b set up and you've gotten money contributing to it, but you don't know how that thing is working, you don't know if that is benefiting you or if it's benefiting your company, you want to register for his retirement review. He will not only point you in the right direction, but he'd also educate you on how to do that and how to look at that stuff yourself. It's very, very important that you learn the game, not just pay somebody to have them do something for you. You have to learn how to do these things for yourself. So check them out at ergj.net. Again, that's ergj.net. You can sign up for Club Millie right there. I am a Club Millie member myself. A lot of people on the stream and in the comments are members of Club Millie. Type Club Millie if you've already made the commitment and you've joined Club Millie, so people can see the people that they be working with, right? And then you can give Evan a call at 678-851-2400. 678-851-2400. And he's always on the show. He's in the stream too. He's in the stream, so you can reach out to him there. We become our own bank. So 1,000 people were in Club Millie investing $1,000. That's $1 million, y'all. And they're going to do that this year. So that is the daily proverb of the day. So Tuesday show was assets and equity. Monday, we talked about sitting your $$, but down somewhere, right? Amy Bennett says she's joining today. Good job, Amy. You definitely want to be a part of Club Millie. I mean, Evan just gives a lot of stuff, a lot of game for free, and then you mess around and get into Club Millie and do some of his scheduled workshops and trainings where he's got his stuff laid out and his courses put together for you, man. You will not be dissatisfied. 150 members already in just 35 days. We're getting to that 1,000. I promise you that. All right. So Monday we talked about sitting your $$ down somewhere. And what we talked about was the power and the benefits of meditation, the power and benefit of your quiet time, sitting in the quiet resources of your own thoughts, right? And I gave you 5 benefits of doing that, doing it on a regular basis. So just like you would schedule time for your visualization, you need to schedule your quiet time where you can sit uninterrupted, no distractions, and relax and just breathe. 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 Preferably somewhere quiet and dark. If you want to do it in the daylight, but you want to get some special benefits, we talked about doing it outside with your bare feet on the ground, so you're literally connected to everything in creation when you do that. Powerful, powerful stuff. What are the benefits of doing that? When you take and carve out that quiet time for yourself, you literally sharpen your perspective, right? It shapes your focus. It shapes your perspective. And we know that your success and your failure has a lot to do with your perspective. How do you see the world? How do you see things? Now, when you shape and mold your vision and your perspective, also when you sit down and you relax and you do that introspective thinking, it convicts you to take responsibility for where you are right now in your life. See, a lot of us don't want to sit still long enough and listen to that inner voice, because that inner voice speaks nothing but truth. And some of us don't want to hear the truth. That inner voice speaks nothing but truth. Some of us don't want to hear truth. And the truth is, you are fully responsible for everything that's going on in your world right now. We talked about mental laws last week, the mental law of correspondence. Everything in your outward existence is a direct correspondence to everything that's going on inside. If your world is full of chaos right now, I guarantee you're experiencing chaos and turmoil on the inside of you. That's why it's being reflected on the outside of you. So internal reflection convicts you to take responsibility for changing your situation. And number 3 thing, it causes you to grow. When you're constantly looking internally, that's where growth happens, and then it manifests externally. Causes you to grow. When you grow, you can't grow without changing. So that's number 4. It causes you to change internally. So growth and change internally is a byproduct of internal reflection. And then number 5, when you change internally, you change your external conditions. Because again, your external conditions are a direct correspondence to you internally. Right? So hopefully that makes a tremendous amount of sense to you guys. Those were our shows for the week. We had great attendance this week, as we always do. I love that you guys plug in. So let's get into some Q&A or fill in the blank. So if you do a fill in the blank, you just give me a statement with a blank, and I will fill in the blank with my thoughts and my perspective on that statement. Or you could ask me a question on anything that we cover on the show, building wealth, branding and marketing, whatever. So whatever, I'm extremely transparent, so I don't mind, answering questions. But in order for you to do this, I want you to first give me the name of your company and or brand, product, or service, and then we do the fill in the blank, right? All right. Okay, so this Lady Ray J, radio and TV personality. I have a new TV talk show called The Other Side. I show a show that will highlight the entrepreneurs, artists, and organizations that are the unsung heroes of our communities. I need a logo. Any idea? The Other Side. You know what? I'm thinking about the B side of a 45, right? Who knows what a 45 is? Who knows what a 45 is? So I'm thinking of something about like the B side of a 45 kind of incorporated as the other side or something like that, right? Okay, I got some folks out here who knows what a 45 is. For those of you young bucks out here that don't know what a 45 is, 45 is the single. So we know the term when a record label or a company puts out a single, right? They put out a single that is a single song. So, but when the albums, when the music was put on wax, the albums, you would put a single on one side, but you had another side to that album. So, or to that 45, to that single. So you'd have the A side, which is the main single that they wanted the radio stations to play. And then they had a B side, which is just free space. So they just put another song on. He said it's not a pistol. Right. No, I'm not talking about that 45. Right. I'm not talking about the Colt. Right. So they on one side of the record, they would have just the main single. And then on the other side, they would have a B-side. So I don't even know what's a popular single right now. I don't listen to much radio, But if Beyonce put out a song, that would be the single that they're spinning on the radio 24/7. So they would press just not an album with all of the songs, or what most people would call a CD, right? They would just press the single song on one side, and then on the other side, they would press just if it was a blank space, they would put another B-side song, maybe a song that they want to introduce the radio stations to, so that they will start playing that one next, right? So that's kind of, when you think about the other side, that's the first thing that came to mind, Ray J, and especially since it's TV and radio, kind of like the B-side of an album. But anybody got any logo ideas for Ray J and how she could use that, for her show? Brother Cortez, Trenton, New Jersey has dozens of abandoned homes. So many it's crazy. While others see problems, I see opportunity. Any advice on where I could start? Yes, the Black Real Estate School. The Black Real Estate School. So if you go to blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com, invest in that school so you can learn how to take advantage of those opportunities. Because what will happen is they will definitely teach you how to acquire some of those properties. Sometimes you can acquire some of those properties from the city for very, very low prices, pennies on a dollar, sometimes even free, if you have the ability to bring those properties back. So you'll learn that there. You'll learn about flipping. You'll learn about buying and selling, buying and holding. You'll learn about foreclosures, tax liens. A lot of those properties in the cities, when they're done like that, is that they or you can get them for back taxes. So blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com. Definitely a good place to start. But the other place to start is start putting your pennies together, right? So whatever you got going on, start putting some money to the side. So when you get the opportunity to acquire one of those properties, you have the money. Start building your network of people who are also interested in that, and start aggregating resources. Maybe you start talking to people who are loan officers. Maybe you start building a list of people who are investors who've got hard money that they can lend you. Maybe you start talking to people who work for title companies. Start building your team right now, even though you're early in the stage, early in the game of learning some of the things that you need to do to move forward in those endeavors. You can still be investing. Start going to investment groups in Facebook and things of that nature. When Robert Kiyosaki and those guys come to town, you go not necessarily to purchase their programs, but you go because other like minds are there, and you start networking with those people, right? So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Who else we got? Old fashioned. Lady Ray J, do the old-fashioned mic with some of your unsung heroes, entertainers going around the mic. Nice. TriCity Visionaries. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization, develops the cost analysis of bidding on government, drop shipping, or service contracts, as well as properly complete business filings for profit and nonprofit organizations. Oh, that's awesome. So TriCity Visionaries is a nonprofit organization that can help other nonprofit organizations get their stuff set up, and also help them win and bid on contracts. That is such a needed service, guys, because what I want you to think about, I was at a function for my son at his school last night, and I'm looking at the janitorial staff, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, some company has a contract with the entire school district of Hazelwood, and that contract they have allows them to be able to hire their own people. See, this is how racism works in America. Yes, we know that white supremacy and prejudice is a big thing, but racism is a big thing, and racism has nothing to do with prejudice. Racism has everything to do with looking out for your own. So as they get those government contracts, they're locked into a certain pay rate and a certain income stream for 20, 30, 40 years. Now they're able to hire their people. And I was looking at those janitors. I'm like, man, these guys don't do nothing around this school. Hardly anything. They are paid an 8 hours day pay, and they literally can clean the school in about an hour and a half or 2 hours. But they're able to have a secure union job because somebody in their race understood that and made provisions for them, and they're looking out for their people. That's what we're not doing. That's what we're not doing. Right? So good deal, TriCity. Yeah, Fiverr.com has plenty of logo designs. Yep, definitely. I'm looking for sponsors, investors for my End Homeless Mission project. Call me if you are interested in getting involved in any way. My idea will help hundreds at a time get in position to get off the street. So she's trying to raise millions of dollars, guys, to help end the homelessness. She's going for a Guinness Book of World Record attempt to fill the Edward Jones Dome here in St. Louis with 67,000 people committed or coming together for one cause other than a sporting event or an entertainment event. So this is going to be powerful. So get in touch with Marshall Woodland. There's her contact information. Go to her website, MidwestShowMeFunnyEntertainment.com. You guys are doing your business shout outs. There's no questions or fill in the blanks. Wells Fargo gives home to 501c3. Yep. Friend request. Good, Chris. Good. Okay. I really found value in your marketing, how-to videos, online marketing. Let's see. Where is the best place to find them? My econ Libra works. So Stephen, here's the thing. Originally, my plan was to keep. I just use my branding and marketing coaching for my team members in Project 1000 and the people that are a part of my tribe that I work closely with. I do have some videos on my YouTube channel, Financial Health Mentor, that teaches some of these things. But what I'm looking at doing now is, we can come up with an agreed upon price, and I can train you on some of that stuff. So what I'm now going to do is I have Beast Mode Branding and Marketing Academy for my team. I'm actually going to build a separate Beast Mode Branding and Marketing Academy for the general public, for anybody who wants to learn what it is that I do. But for instance, if you want a 2-hour boot camp style training session with me, I'll do something like that for $25, man. Just PayPal me $25 and get on my calendar, and we'll go through some stuff, man, that will put you in the game as far as how to, do your videos and how to set up your brand and all of that kind of stuff. So if that sounds fair, then inbox me afterwards and we can get something like that going. Logo Graphics is a black-owned company. They're in St. Louis, and they do great work. I used to work with, David Beckford. Yep. And Ray is familiar with David Beckford. He's doing this thing over there in the media world. Inherit Sean Kalfani. I am butchering that name, so please forgive me. ShopNVNashville.com, new online boutique for women. These sisters are building relationships, but people do not want to see them succeed. All right, guys, so you guys are not doing me a favor. You're getting your business shout outs, but there's no question. Give me a question or comment or fill in the blank so that we can all stay engaged. Thank you for watching. We are on the move. Yep. Appreciate that, Justin. No problem, man. That's where I would start. Inbox me that website. All right. Yep. High five. Monica Lamb is thebomb.com. If you want to use her services. That's my veteran and battle. All right. TriCity Visionaries also help with government certifications to win set-aside government contracts. Very powerful, very powerful. There is tons of money set aside, not only just for nonprofit organizations, but minority nonprofit organizations and businesses. They call it earmarking. They earmark money in contracts and say, hey, we're going to give $1 billion to the St. Louis city, but out of that billion, 100 million of it has to go to minority businesses. And because we're not in that game, I'm going to tell you what's happening. See, Dr. Claude Anderson talks specifically about the difference between minority and black. There's one thing that you can do, you can be for minorities. There's a completely separate thing when you want to be specifically for black people. So when in the minority contracting business, you know how white guys are getting over? They put the business in the name of their wife because white women are considered minorities. So now the 100 million that was earmarked for minority businesses, meaning black, brown, and other minority ethnic groups, are still being eaten up by white contractors because they put the name in the business in the name of their wife. She has 51% ownership. The man has 49%. And now that is technically a minority business, but it's run by who? White men. So they still sidestep the regulations and still get 99.9% of all the contracts because we won't get in the game and set ourselves up properly business-wise, licensing, bonding, all of the things, all the hoops that they want us to go through. Yes, go through those hoops and get that money. All right. Let's see. What are some investment opportunities that new entrepreneurs may get involved in to start businesses? The reason that I love financial education, is two reasons. Number one, it's a $4 trillion industry. Financial services is $4 trillion. Out of the financial services, if you just look at financial education as a piece, that is probably $3-4 billion, industry just in financial services. I mean, financial education alone out of all of the other financial services. So that is important. Second reason I love it is because we so desperately need this in our community. That's why I'm trying to recruit as many people I can into Project 1000, because it would allow you to have your own financial education franchise. You will learn these strategies to apply in your life first and foremost, which means all of your future descendants from this day forward will be financially literate, because you're not going to learn this stuff yourself and not teach it to your children. Then I'm putting you in position to be a lighthouse in your community for financial literacy, and you can get paid to do it. And then you start learning investment strategies on how to keep that money. So the financial education piece is great, is wonderful. That's where I'm driving most people, because you can serve your community and make $1 at the same time. And that's kind of where I am with everything that I'm doing. I'm looking at, yes, I'm going to be a billionaire through industry, through service, but I'm going to serve my community and make money at the same time. So that's a good place for new entrepreneurs to get involved in. And the other thing is, when you understand money and how money works and you get into business, then you can take that business. See, businesses go out of business for poor money management skills. Not because of the product or the service or anything else, is they don't understand money management, how to scale. Right? And you learn that in your personal life, then you can do that with yourself. You can do that in business. Other sorts of businesses, anything that you can start in your home is always good, because you can take advantage of the tax laws, write off your lifestyle, and you don't have a lot of overhead costs. So I encourage new entrepreneurs, especially if they're coming from employee mentality and trying to become entrepreneurs, start a home-based business of some sort and start getting around other entrepreneurs, because you first have to become an entrepreneur, meaning you have to shift your thinking to be more entrepreneurial minded, and that's usually a good place to start is in a home-based business. Low cost to start, low cost to maintain, and you can grow as an entrepreneur along the way. So guys, we are missing our daily book excerpt, so let me give it to you really quickly. Today's daily book excerpt comes from The Art of Dealing with People by Les Gibling. The Art of Dealing with People by Les Gibling. Right? And like I told you, you are in the relationship business. So if you're not constantly learning how to deal with people, you're constantly learning and reading the different personality types so you can learn how to build better relationships. That's one, this kind of book is one that I always got in my arsenal. Every month I'm trying to read $5 a month. So I'm always reading some sort of book on relationships. Right? It says, when self-esteem is at a low ebb, trouble comes easily. And when self-esteem gets low enough, almost anything can become a threat. To that person, a critical look or a harsh word can seem like a calamity. The sensitive souls who see a dig or a double meaning in every and even the most innocent remark are suffering from low self-esteem. And the braggart and show-off and the bully have the same problem. When self-esteem is at a low ebb, trouble comes easily. So when you don't have a good picture of yourself, man, you find yourself always in trouble. Somebody's always attacking you. Man, ain't nobody attacking you. You just see yourself in a certain light, and as a result, you're messing up. And when self-esteem gets low enough, almost anything can be a threat. To that person, a critical look or a harsh word can seem like a calamity. The sensitive souls who see a dig or double meaning in even the most innocent remark are suffering from low self-esteem. And the braggart and show-off and the bully have the same problem. So if you're dealing with braggarts, show-offs, and bullies in your circle, you know they have low self-esteem problems. If that person who every time you say something sees it as a double meaning, they're dealing with low self-esteem. Why is that important for you to know? Because if I know you're dealing with low self-esteem and I'm constantly complimenting, doing something to boost your esteem, that helps me build a relationship. Again, I'm getting to the know, like, and trust factor with you quickly because I realize that you're not a mean or evil person. You just suffer from low self-esteem. So if I help build up your self-esteem, you see me as somebody that you know, like, and trust. And now we can do business because we developed a relationship. Today's daily book excerpt was brought to you by Solid Foundation Athletic Academy. If you're in the St. Louis area and you got young athletes that think they want to play ball, that think they're ready to go to the next level, send them to a boot camp at Solid Foundation Athletic Academy and you can kill that noise real quick. I guarantee you they're not going through training over there if they're playing around with trying to be a ball player or an athlete. But on the other hand, if they come out of that experience saying, yes, mom, dad, that's what I needed. I need somebody to be training me like that so I can get better. Now you know you got somebody who's hungry, somebody who's ready to take their game to another level. And those are the kids you want to invest in, right? So that book is The Art of Dealing with People by Les Gibling. And look, it's a real quick read, right? Just 39 pages. Big words, big fonts. I like these kind of books, right? Because if I'm trying to read 5 books a month, give me a couple of those really thin ones in there and get through them really quickly, and I can feel good about myself. I can increase my self-esteem because I've got the sense of accomplishment because I've gotten through something, right? Do you think it is wise for companies to invest some of their profits? It is not only wise, I think it should be at the top of list. Right? Because again, what do we talk about? Is the only wealth building strategy or formula? Cash, asset, cash. See, your business is an asset. and you're using cash to invest into your business, which is the asset that's bringing you more cash. Now you take some of that cash, reinvest it back into the business, but peel some of it off to invest into a different asset class. See, private business is one asset class. Paper investments is an asset class. Real estate is an asset class. Collectibles is an asset class. Precious metals is an asset class. Yes, invest most of your money back into your business, but it's okay to peel some of that money off and put it into some sort of other income producing assets as well. Yes, I think that is a very good idea. All right, let's see. My organization is Operation Prom Night. We have a mentoring program and we provide prom attire for the youth in low income areas. How can you get the word out that these services are free? Everything I do, I'm on 3 platforms at least at the same time. This show streams to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. These are free platforms, man, that you can build an audience up around. And then if you don't already have a website, you want a home on the internet, go to someone like Wix or Weebly. They're free and you can set up a nice looking website. So when people are searching for you and they may not know how to find you and they just do a Google search on Operation Prom Night, they can find you and learn more about you. And make sure that all of your platforms are optimized with sharing options so people can share them. If you don't have a fan page, get a fan page, boost a couple posts to start getting the word out. I would be on social media 3 times a day with some sort of quick live stream video or infographics about what you do. Build a tribe. Those who work for the organization, those who have already benefited from the organization, I would recruit them once a day and have them sharing information about the organization every day. Every day. And that's how you get the word out. Testimonies are good. Those who receive benefits from the program, get them to commit to doing a video testimony for you. All of those things are extremely, extremely important, and they're free to do. And you can put that out on social media and get the word out. And there's Lady Ray J. Again, so much networking in this stream. She'll do a commercial for you, a commercial drop for you, a very small price on her radio show. That's another way to get the word out. Good deal, good deal. You talking right? You talking right? Yep. How can I contact you, Lady Ray J? Okay, I think Ray J can handle that. Yes, yes, yes. Share, so that folks can get the education. Yes. Okay, so let me get this right. If my brother put his company in his wife's name, his chances of getting a loan increases to get his business off the ground. So if I can't tell if you are a black or white person, but if you are, it looks like the name might be a black person. So just being black, you're already minority, but being black and female, you're double minority. So yes, that increases the chances even more. It does increase the chances even more. But here's what I caution you guys on looking at business loans. Start making profit now, even if it's small. Start making profit now and then scale up. So for instance, I don't know what business you have there, and I don't want to butcher your name again. Harriet, Harriet, I can't get that. Calfani, right? Start small. And if you can just make a $10 profit doing whatever it is that you're doing, don't worry about loans. Put in 10 times the effort and go from making a $10 profit to making a $100 profit. And scale up. Other thing that you do is work on your credit. Project 1000 has a great credit education program where we teach you how to restore your personal credit. Why is that important? Because business credit is a reflection of personal credit. Sometimes you can get business credit a lot faster when you have good personal credit with a personal guarantee. So if you are not looked at Project 1000 as a way to get you in the door from a business perspective, from a generating passive resource, passive income perspective, we can start there and then work on the personal credit so that you can start establishing business credit. But I don't like the whole idea of jumping out into business with a whole bunch of debt. Start where you are with the amount that you can invest, start making small profits, and then scale up from there. Yes. Marshall is a member of Project 1000. We should all want to or have the mission to help 1,000 families. Yep. No loan, Sean, government contracts, it will all happen in time. So get with Monica Lamb. She can definitely help. He has a construction company business idea and lots to build, and we have some money to go towards securing the loan needed, but he's been denied a few times. See, if you have money already, then I would take that money and make sure that his credit is A1 above 750. Make sure her credit is A1 above 750. Set the business up, tax ID number, LLC, or incorporate Dun & Bradstreet number and registry, get some trade lines, and start getting business credit. See, you're going for a business loan, but let me tell you what business credit could do. Business credit can get you a credit card limit, a line of credit of $50,000. And then you can go to 5 different banks and get the same $50,000 limit on 5 cards. Now you got $250,000 of credit to use to start building. So you don't have to go into the loan. Let me tell you something about us trying to get loans from these institutions, man. These institutions will not and are not going to fund our liberation, man. They make trillions of dollars from us and by us being where we are. Trillions. Do you understand? So they're not trying to fund our liberation. And you going into business in the construction area is your liberation, and you will liberate others by being able to grow that business and hire others, encourage others to get licensed in that field and start playing and competing on a high level. They don't want to fund your liberation, bro. So you have to do it yourself. Get your credit right. Incorporate your business right. Get that thing set up right. And if you need help doing that, you can see my girl Yvette Best over at Best Services Unlimited LLC. She can help you with the business formation and start with small projects that you can put your own money up for. I love Damon Dash, man. If you haven't seen that video, he said a boss puts his own money up, man. Put your own money up. Don't worry about the loans right now. Just make sure when you're putting your own money up, you're putting it up in a profitable endeavor. Even if it has to be tied up for a little while, that's cool. But long as you're going to see profit, get your initial investment back and then profit, yes, get your money up, man. Start being profitable on a small scale, maybe doing some small jobs where you can get your money up and start while you're building your business credit. And then you use credit lines because they don't care. When you submit a credit application for business, they're not looking at you, the person, they're looking at the numbers. When you go into a loan and you sit across from a loan officer at a banking establishment talking about you want a business loan, now they're looking at you. Big difference. Big difference. All right, Monica says she's going to connect with Cheryl. Good. Do you think the bank will let you leverage $1 million if you have $100,000 liquid? Not us. Not us. A lot of times they won't, man, and it's sad. But let's get away from even going that route when we know that the end result is going to be pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Let's just get away from that. If you got $100,000 liquid, flip that 100,000. Flip that 100,000 into $1 million. Whatever you did to earn that 100,000, to accumulate that 100,000, put in 10 times the effort, and you should be able to flip it to $1 million. So that's kind of my thought process when it comes to business. Banks just don't want to deal with us in that capacity because deep down they know that it's funding our liberation. And they make way too much money off us being in the condition that we're in right now. The banks do, right? The system as a whole, but just looking at the banks do. So one thing that you can do, they understand that $100,000 liquid ain't nothing. Get $100,000 worth of property that produces passive income. Now they'd be more willing to deal with you from a lending aspect because they don't want you. They don't want to loan you money and all you got is more money because they know the value of the dollar is losing, it's going down. But if you had $100,000 worth of property that was bringing in $10,000 a month in rental income, now you have assets that they can repossess if you default on a loan, and they go for that deal in a heartbeat. Right? I'm working on aggregating 100,000 to try to get $1 million liquid. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm not saying what your plan is. I'm just saying if you're aggregating 100,000, you can probably buy you $10 million worth of property with $100,000. And now you have way more leverage. If you can aggregate the 100K, you can probably go get 10 properties for 10 grand each that could, be worth 3 or 4 million. Now you've got the assets that you need to walk into anybody's bank and say, give me a business loan. Or if you don't want to give me a business loan, just let me refinance one of my properties. And it works out the same way. But it's the collateral that they would want to leverage more so than you having just $100K in liquid cash. What is that book again? That book is The Art of Dealing with People by Les Giblin. Les Giblin, no S at the end. All right, Brother Cortez, I can definitely see you being a bit. I thank you, man, from your mouth to God's ears, man. I thank you. Yes, I'm getting there, bro. And we can get there together, man. That's why I do this show, so that we can. I can continue to build my network of people who think like me, so we can grind and do this thing together, man. Do this thing together. All right. Relationship business, yes. What magazines are good to subscribe to? If you're talking about building wealth, I don't have any magazine subscriptions right now. There's a young brother who puts out a magazine that if you want to support somebody and get some good content, look up Entrepreneurs of Color. Entrepreneurs of Color. Brother puts out a nice publication every 2 months or so. This is a young black guy doing this, man. So if you want to support somebody, I recommend giving him a shout out, reaching out to him. I can't remember his name, but maybe I'll find it and put it in the chat. All right, let's see. What else we got? You guys know we're over our 8 o'clock cutoff time, right? But say you're talking right. Good. Talk about it. Yeah, got money generating in escrow. Good deal. Yep. Business credit. Yeah, join or start a team now. Yep. Never get a loan. Robert X is anti-bank all the way. And there's nothing wrong with that because I know people who build that way, and I know people who build with banking. Yes, keep applying a winning mathematical formula. Yep. Let's see. Yep. Get you some kind of property now. That's the goal, to buy back my block. Yep. Good deal. Entrepreneurs of Color. Yeah. Young black dude. I forget his name. His stage name is Preach the Prophet, but his Facebook name is different. But you can look up Entrepreneurs of Color, and I believe you'll find his publication. Real assets, real estate, free and clear is great collateral. Yep, of course. We need this knowledge. Appreciate it. Black Enterprise is a good magazine. Yep. Thanks for info. I need to get with my sister and deal with things from a different perspective. Yeah, most definitely. And not, that perspective is so key, right? See, we are in a place where we just believe that there's only one way to go about things, right? And that hurts us from being the most creative beings on this planet. We don't use our creativity, man, and that kills us. There's 1,000,001 ways to skin a cat. So yes, think of things from a different perspective and look at all the different angles that you can attack and approach this thing. I would love to have you join Project 1000 myself personally, and then we can work closely together on building a financial education franchise and some ideas on how to set up the construction company and use some creative ideas to make that thing work as well. So with that, guys, we're 10 minutes over our time. Let me end. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. This is probably one of the funnest free game Fridays that we've done. A lot of times we get on here and nobody has any questions, so I'm making up stuff to talk about, but I love to interact and engage with you. This is the day that we talk about what you want to talk about. Monday through Thursday, I talk about what I want to talk about. Fridays, I always want to talk about what you want me to talk about. So hopefully this helped. Sounds like we've got some good dialogue, and we've exposed some new ideas and a new way to think for some people on the stream. And that's all this thing is about, man. Just expanding the mind, man, and keeping exercising that brain and keeping new thoughts flowing, because that's how your brain grows, right? If you're never putting new information in, your brain atrophies and it literally shrinks, shrivels up, and dies. But if you keep putting fresh and new ideas in all the time, then you keep those neural connections firing. You're constantly creating neural connections, and that's how your mind literally grows, right? Your brain literally continues to grow if you keep feeding that. So with that, today's show is brought to you by Young Biz Kids, youngbizkids.org, also by Project 1000. So tomorrow, we are meeting tomorrow, Marshall. So if you can get somewhere close to this way, we got you. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time at my house. I forgot to get back with you, but tomorrow we're meeting tomorrow, Marshall, at my house, 4 o'clock p.m. So with that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm your man, H Cortez, financial health mentor to the black community. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.